Hey lighting fanatics, today I'm going to show you this vintage Philips 100-watt ColorTone outdoor flood in yellow. But before we get into that, you might notice a little bit of a change of scenery here, because the workbench out here in the garage is finally complete. Well, it was actually complete a couple weeks ago, but I'm just now getting to recording some videos at it. So this is very exciting, you guys. We finally have a proper workspace out here for recording these videos and working on stuff. This is really exciting. And another plus here, we finally have proper lighting for the first time ever for these videos. Now I am still going to have to tweak this a little bit, because if I don't mount that fluorescent strip light up there all high, we do get a little bit of shadowing toward the front of the workbench. You don't really see stuff as good on the front of the workbench because it's all dark. But the downside to mounting it so high is that we don't get quite as much of an intensity of light down here. So I'm gonna hopefully get like some track lights or something like that, and have some light shining a little bit more towards the front of the workbench. That way I can mount the strip light down a little bit further and still have good lighting for you guys. But this will work for now. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get into this wonderful old Philips reflector bulb. This is the Philips ColorTone Flood 100-watt yellow PAR38 bulb. We do have the packaging that Philips used in the 1990s here, which I really like, with the lines, of course, a nice depiction of the bulb, and a picture of a floodlight fixture like what you would use this bulb in. Has a standard base, lasts 2,000 hours, and it's made in the USA. That's awesome. So there's the front of the package. Side's a little bit smashed up, but it's the same thing. Got it for $1 at a restore, I guess. Here's the back. We have a little bit more information back here. It's for decorative and special effects and displays, exhibits, homes, and gardens. Can be used indoors. To avoid deterioration of lamp holder by heat, use only in porcelain lamp holders. Although this lamp was made with exacting care from selected materials and was carefully inspected before shipment, the glass bulb may crack or shatter under certain conditions beyond the control of the manufacturer. That's especially true outside where it could get wet, because if you don't know, water and hot glass do not mix. Since there is considerable heat radiation in the beam of this lamp, care should be taken against using it without suitable protection in close proximity to combustible materials or those adversely affected by drying action. Also available in blue, pink, red, blue-white, green, or amber. Now the blue-white was actually kind of an interesting color. It was essentially a daylight color temperature out of an incandescent bulb, I'm pretty sure. I'd love to find one of those blue-white bulbs someday, but they're pretty hard to find, so I don't know. It's model 100 PAR/Y. We have a bunch of information that I don't know what any of it means. Philips Lighting Company, a division of North American Philips Corporation. Yellow. And then the other side is the same as the front and the first side. And then the top, although it's a little bit ripped up, it is actually the same thing as the front, pretty much. And then the bottom is nothing. That's nice. We do have a little bit of information on the flap here. I guess that's the company who made the cardboard box for Philips. So let's go ahead and slide our bulb out of the packaging here and take a look at it. So there's the side of it. We have a little bit of a step design to the reflector inside, which is pretty interesting. Never seen anything like that outside of this bulb. Here's the front of the bulb. It's all yellow, of course. And we have our textured glass inside with all the little dimples. I think they call that prismatic glass. And then we have our hexagon pattern in the middle. If I'm not mistaken, that's a pretty common thing that Philips did with these PAR38 lamps. And then of course we have our wonderful etch. Philips PAR Flood, 100 watt, 120 volt, made in USA. And then 4K is actually the date code for October 1994, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a 1990s bulb here. There's what the base of it looks like. We do have our classic Philips contact with the little dots all around it. And of course our skirted PAR38 base. We do have the little wire coming out of the side. Is a brass base, which is pretty nice. So let's go ahead and grab our socket, which I don't know where I put it. Alright, got our socket here, so let's go ahead and screw the bulb into the socket real quick. And of course, this being an incandescent bulb, it is dimmable, so we do have our dimmer here, can't forget about that. So we will plug the socket into the dimmer. Then I do have the kilowatt meter here. However, I don't have a real convenient place of putting it out here, so I just have it plugged into my power strip, and then I'll just read the information off of it for you guys. That way we can still know how much power our bulb consumes. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and turn off our lights. It is so much easier to turn off the lights out here than it was in the bedroom. And I forgot the CRI testing stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and turn the bulb on in 3, 2, 1. Woo, there we go. It is most certainly yellow, and hopefully you can see it, but we do have a horizontal filament inside. Very nice. Definitely yellow in color, isn't really coming across quite right on camera. Maybe if I set it back to the regular camera. There we go, that's a little better. Now you can kind of see what color it is. It's a very nice bright yellow. But what I will say is it looks a little bit brighter on the bulb itself than it does actually in the beam of light. It looks a little tiny bit more ambery in the light beam than it does on the bulb itself. But anyway, distribution wise, I don't know why they're calling this a flood. I mean, look, they literally call it a flood. But this is definitely not a flood. This is for sure a spot. I mean, it's a very tight beam pattern. Maybe I'll go ahead and come up here and zoom that out. Can really see it's definitely a spotlight pattern, not a floodlight. So that's kind of interesting. But does its job, and does it pretty well, as pretty much every incandescent bulb does. So I guess we better go ahead and try dimming this bulb, see what it looks like then. Dimming it all the way down, we only get the tiniest little spot of orange light. That looks so funny. Now we'll bring it up to about 50%. A little bit more yellowish, but still pretty orange. There's what that looks like. Let's just raise it up a tiny bit more. There we go. That's the dimmed look that we're looking for here. And finally bring it all the way back up. Not the absolute brightest thing, of course, being only 100 watt and a PAR38 bulb. Wonder how many lumens it is. And also it is colored, so of course that's going to take away some of the light output as well. Well then, I suppose the last thing to look at is going to be our CRI. So let me go ahead and grab all of the CRI testing markers here. I brought some out. Then we can kind of get an idea of how well this bulb renders colors. Alright, here we go. Now I will say, for being a colored bulb, this is not really supposed to be emitting all the different colors of light, yet it somehow does. We can see all the blues perfectly, the greens, the reds, the pinks. This bulb has surprisingly good CRI, so I guess that might just be that yellow is pretty close to the natural color of an incandescent bulb. I don't know, but doesn't seem like much light is getting filtered out here to make this yellow color. So, pretty interesting that we do have good CRI. Alright, so in the previous recording, I forgot to show the power draw of the bulb. So that's what I'm going to show now. We've got 122.6 volts coming in from the outlet. So let's switch it to watts and turn on the bulb. Looks like the bulb is drawing 101 watts, which is 1 watt off of what it is advertising, so I'd say that's pretty good. Current wise, it's drawing 0.83 amps. Power factor of 1.0. Alright, well there is the power draw of the vintage Philips PAR38 yellow bulb. Well, I guess that's pretty much it to look at with this bulb. We saw the distribution of light, we saw the color of it, the brightness of it, the CRI, the dimming. So let's go ahead and turn this bulb off and watch it glow down. Ooh, very nice. Let's do that again. Let it warm up for a second, turn it off. This bulb sure gives a very wonderful fade out with that filament. Well, go ahead and set this aside, and we gotta turn the lights back on. Wonderful. And I'm sure this bulb is very, very warm, so we'll have to unscrew it very carefully. Oh yeah, that thing's warm. Unscrew it down here against the workbench, and then pop it down. It's an art of skill, unscrewing hot incandescent bulbs. You learn it as you become a lighting collector. Well, I'll go ahead and try and show some of the aspects of this bulb one more time. There's the etch, the back of it with the really neat design. I really love that. And then the base. Very cool. So let's go ahead and scoot that over to the side and bring our packaging back in here. And there you have it. The Philips 100 watt ColorTone outdoor flood in yellow from 1994. Well, if you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to leave a like down below. Feel free to leave a comment. And if you want to see more cool lighting videos recorded here at the workbench in the future, be sure to subscribe. See you next time.